Hello and welcome to my channel Grammar Blitz. Today's video is about simple present tense. In this video, we will discuss the uses of simple present tense, the structure of simple present tense, the interrogative form of simple present tense, and the negative form of simple present tense. So let's begin with the uses of simple present tense. We use the simple present tense to talk about habits and routine. This is the most important use of simple present tense, to use it for routine or habit. For example, I wake up at 7 a.m. Now, this is a routine activity, this is a regular activity, so we will use simple present tense. The next use of simple present tense is to talk about general truths or facts. For example, when you say the sun rises in the east, now this is always true. This is a fact. So we will use simple present tense. We also use the simple present tense for permanent situations. For example, he lives in London. Now, this is a permanent situation. This is not something temporary. So, we will use simple present tense. We will use simple present tense when we give instructions or directions. For example, when you give direction to someone, when you say turn left at the corner, you will use simple present tense. Now, simple present tense is used usually in recipes, manual, etc. Now, let's talk about the structure of simple present tense. In affirmative or positive sentences, the structure would be subject followed by base form of verb. But if the subject is he, she, or it, the verb will be followed by s or es. But if the subject is I, you, we, or they, it will be followed by the base form of verb. Look at these examples. They play football. They is the subject. It is followed by the base form of verb play with no s or es. But if the subject is he, she, it, the verb will be followed by s or es. For example, she plays the guitar. Here, the base form of verb is followed by s. Now, the question is where to use s and where to use es. Here are some very important spelling rules that you need to remember. When to add s and when to add es. Add s to most verbs. For example, work, works, play, plays. When to add add es to verbs ending in sh, ch, ss, x, or o. For example, wash will be followed by es because it ends in sh. Wash, washes. Watch, watches. Class, classes. The next important rule you need to remember is change y to ies if the verb ends in consonant plus y. For example, cry, cry. Before y, we have a consonant. So when you change it, you will change the y into I. It will become cries, cries. Cry, cries. Now, how to make questions in simple present tense? In order to make question in simple present tense, follow these rules. Start with the helping verb do or does, followed by subject, followed by base form of verb. Now, when to use do and when to use does. If the subject is I, you, we, or they, use do as a helping verb. For example, do you like coffee? Do they play soccer? If the subject is he, she, or it, use the helping verb does in the question. For example, Does he speak English? Now remember one important point. The main verb stays in the base form in question. Now this is wrong. Does she plays? This is wrong. The correct form will be does she play with no s or es. Now how to make negative sentences in simple present tense. When you want to make negative statement, follow these rules. Subject followed by helping verb do or does, followed by not, followed by base form of verb. When to use do not and when to use does not. If the subject is I, you, we, or they, use do not. They do not eat meat. If the subject is he, she, or it, use does not. He does not watch TV often. Again, remember the most important point. Main verb stays in the base form in negative statement also. For example, he does not watches. This is wrong. The correct form will be he does not watch. Now let's go over the main points again. We use simple present tense to express routine or habit. For example, I go to school every day. This is a routine work. We also use simple present tense to express scientific or general facts. For example, water boils at 100 Celsius. Now, this is a scientific fact. We also use simple present tense for schedule or fixed event. For example, the store opens at 9 a.m. Now, if the verb ends in y and before y there is a consonant, change the y into I and add s or es if the subject is he, she, or it. For example, she studies English. How to make questions? We make questions by using the helping verb do or does. But when we use the helping verb do or does, the main verb will always be in the base form. Do you play piano? How to make negative statement? We use do or does plus not in order to make negative statement. He doesn't eat meat. Now is the practice or quiz time. You will have questions. For each questions, you have 10 seconds to answer. If you need more time, pause the video.